And I prayed this prayer, and I was like, God, if you're real, can you give me a sign? I'd be sitting in my room, and all of a sudden the lights would flash. And I'm praying, and like all these things are happening. These spiritual experiences started happening, and some of them I didn't pray for, and some of them were scary. Some people call it deja vu. I was having like full-on visions of future events coming to pass. So, how do we start?
All right, let's like this. Yo, it's your boy DJ A back in the building, and today I got a very special guest. One of my day one A1s, my boy Brandon Cominsky is in the building today. You know what I'm saying, how you doing, Brian?
Good. Thanks for having me.
It's been a while, man. I know you for a long time. You know what I mean? We go way back. And I definitely watched you grow into the beast you are today. Not only mentally, physically, emotionally sometimes. Yeah. You're a monster at everything you do, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that you're in the building, man. But how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I wanted to just link up with you to tell this crazy story, to see if there's anybody else like me experiencing the same thing, or if not, maybe just be able to help somebody. A lot of people think what I have to say is kind of crazy, but I want to share it, regardless of what people may think. Hopefully my success will speak for itself instead of just writing me off as some lunatic. You know, they'll look at some of the things that I've accomplished and say, hey, maybe this guy's onto something. And I got some knowledge that I think a lot of people could use, if anything. Just share my testimony, and if it helps anybody, or if somebody could reach out, if they have anything like this going on with them as well, it'd be great to find somebody else like me.
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to hear this story. So I guess we could start going back a little bit. Want to learn about a little backstory so I can see exactly where you came from. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure a lot of people out here are very curious where this strength, motivation, determination was built from. You know what I'm saying? From the dirt you was, grown from. So
I definitely got it out the mud.
Yes. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know. They assume you just woke up with money one day. You know what I mean? Oh, I just woke up with success. Oh, I just woke up with a house, or whatever it is that they in their mind that success is. You know what I mean? Everybody has a different vision of it.
I definitely started at the bottom. Oh, yeah. Probably lower than the bottom.
So
the basement.
Where were you born at?
I was born in Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay. So you were born in Youngstown. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we moved when I was 5. My mom moved us to Florida, Clearwater, St. Pete, Largo, Seminole, that area.
Wow. I never knew that, man. I've known you for a long time. Did not know you were born in Youngstown, man.
Yeah, we moved in 1990. Kind of we weren't in the projects or anything, but it wasn't a nice neighborhood. I mean, it was a lot. It was crazy. A lot of fighting, a lot of things going on.
In Youngstown?
No.
Oh, Florida. Okay.
Yeah, where I grew up.
Okay.
Like, a lot of drugs, a lot of hustling, little, like, I don't want to say gangs, but
little
neighborhood cliques that were, the cops probably considered them gangs, but it was growing up in the 90s, early 2000s. It was different. You remember how it was. It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah. Florida's probably definitely amped up a little more than it would be like around here.
Yeah, there's 1 million people in our county, so it's a little bit different than Mercer.
Wow.
Mercer County.
There's 1 million people in this county?
In Pinellas County.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, dang, where are they hiding?
I don't think there's 1 million. You might be lucky to have 50,000 or 100,000.
Wow, I never actually thought about that. But, man, so, hold on. So what's the county again? Penelope?
Pinellas County.
Oh, Pinellas. Okay.
Yeah.
So what city's close to that?
St. Petersburg.
Okay, so is that like towards the south?
Clearwater, where everybody.
Oh, okay, I know where Clearwater is. I think.
Largo, Pinellas Park. Pinellas Park's where I grew
Largo.
up.
Ain't that where Trump's thing is?
No,
that is Maryland.
That's like Maryland.
Okay.
We're a long way from
Listen,
that.
I got to get out of the country more, man. I'm way off. That's not even out of the country what I'm talking about. I got my passport to go to Florida. Nah, I've been to Florida with you.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, but anywho, okay. So you grew up in Florida. Is that where you started going to school at?
Yeah, I graduated down there.
Okay.
I moved back up here.
Oh, so you went through the whole high school, everything out there.
No, I came up here in 2001, but I got kicked out of Hermitage. I don't want to say no names, but I got into a fight with somebody who's pretty well known and ended up having to move back down to Florida after that fight.
Dang, he must have really laid an ass whooping on somebody there. I'm not going to dwell on that, but man, so bad he sent me to Florida.
Yeah, I was like the high school bully that was kicked.
Like the opposite of Will Smith.
Yeah, I was never like a real big guy, but I always had problems with bullies for some reason.
Yeah, I feel it, man. Bullies suck, man. I don't know why. I get angered whenever I see somebody getting bullied or somebody trying to underdog somebody. You know what I mean? I feel like, I definitely feel your pain. You don't want to knock them out for them, though. I got your back, little guy.
Not no more. I don't fight no more. I don't get in trouble. I'm pretty much a saint. I've changed my entire life since then, as everybody has. I feel like everybody's kind of going through awakening process right now. Like if you look around, there's a lot of ex-drug dealers, ex-this or ex-that, people that used to do this, that, and the third, that they're all just kind of going through this awakening process since COVID. A lot of people are changing for the better. And I feel like we're almost forced to choose a side. I mean, I look at everything from a spiritual perspective. I can recognize God's hand in people's lives, and even in this country or through the world right now, how he's kind of forcing people to either change or pick a side, so to speak. And a lot of those people, like myself, who have a checkered past, I just got tired of living that life. And then I think that's right around the time when I met you is when I was just kind of getting my stuff together. Like 2009, 10-ish. 2008 for me. I think I was about a year ahead of you.
Okay.
Getting 2008 is when I got my stuff together.
Okay.
That's right when you was going through your situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was there trying to support you. But you seen the beginning how I started out. I started a company 16 years ago called Harp Landscape and Tree. And when we started out, it was really nothing. I mean, I had a lawnmower and a weed whacker. 16 years later, I grew it into, I don't know, $16 million in sales or so throughout that time. Probably about $16 million in sales. I had, millions of dollars of equipment. Still have some. I still own the company today, but yeah, from a street kid to a successful businessman, and then most recently a Christian. Since COVID, like I've just definitely given my life to the Lord and changed, and that's when things really started opening up for me, specifically in real estate. Bought my first apartment complex, and then got another one, another duplex, another triplex. Right now I have 12 units. I'm doing a $1.2 million deal for another 25 units, and some other things that I can't talk about because they're still in the works, but yeah, things are definitely changing.
Nice.
And it really all started a night that I almost lost my life. I almost died on my way home in an auto accident. One night, head-on collision with a semi-truck, and then since then I've been on this crazy journey, and I wanted to talk about it and share some of the things that have been going on with me to see if anybody else is experiencing something like this, and call me crazy. That's fine, but if I could help anybody by sharing my story, or if somebody could say, yeah, I'm experiencing the same thing too, it'd be great to get some feedback.
All right, let me start because I got a few questions. Because this is definitely eye-opening. I'm really curious about, because I didn't realize you were so religious. Was that something that's always been kind of instilled in you, or is that something? There's like a time that really just had an awakening. Like I had a buddy who wasn't religious at all, and he experienced, I believe, DMT. And it changes perspective on life.
Yeah, it'll do that.
Yeah, he is a totally different. Everything is. I think I wake up in the morning and I thank the Lord for the air, and like that's how he is now. Completely 360 or 180. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm religious. Yeah, I'm probably the opposite of religious. I hate religion. I kind of see through that whole facade of religion. My story is more spirituality based, and it wasn't really something that I chose to do. I was almost forced, and not through parents or anything. I didn't grow up with any sort of religious background or spiritual background. We didn't even say grace at our table. I mean, or anything like that. We didn't go to church. Mine was, I was forced by God into an awakening. I didn't choose this. It kind of chose me. And I've even prayed for it to stop. And it won't stop. And I've kind of come to terms with it recently. And I've been able to do some pretty amazing things with this spiritual gift that I've discovered recently that I have. And I'm hoping to maybe talk about it a little bit so people would just notice what I see. And if anybody else has this same gift, maybe they could help me expand on what I already know. I've been able to do amazing things in real estate, even get people to quit their job and come work for me because I could predict the numbers that they would see throughout their day.
Wow.
Before their day even started. There's a story about a girl in Pittsburgh who I reached out to, and I was able to predict that she would start seeing the number 44 everywhere. And I've never met this girl before. And I even prophesied that I would meet a girl whose name started with an A, ended with an A. She'd be of Latina descent. And the number 44 would confirm that this is the person. The Lord told me about this prior to ever meeting her.
Wow.
And I found a girl, I won't say her last name, but her name was Amanda, online. And I told her, I said, I think you're this person that I've been looking for. Let me know if the number 44 starts following you everywhere. And she thought I was like some psycho and just kind of brushed me off. Very beautiful girl, by the way. I'm sure she got a lot of DMs, and mine was...
I'm sure. One of the corniest lines she's ever heard. Like, oh, yeah, you saw me in your dream, huh?
Yeah. But then it happened. Yeah. Then she went to a silent disco, and she was waiting in line. And anybody who's ever been to a silent disco, there's no music at the concert. You wear headphones, and the whole concert is through headphones, and there'll be 1,000 people all wearing headphones.
Yeah, that's such a wild concept.
Yeah.
You just hear feet stomping or do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would never go to one.
Oh, man. Can you imagine the sounds you hear outside the headphones? People farting and shit. You know what I mean? Just all kind of weird sounds, you know what I mean?
She goes to the silent disco, and she gets headphone number 44 given to her.
Oh, wow.
You know, just a coincidence, right? But this is the day after I tell her that this number is going to start following you everywhere. And then she posted a picture to her Facebook holding up the number 44 with the headphones on her at the concert. And I was like, I commented on her, it wasn't a news feed, but it was her story. I commented, I was like, see, I told you. And she's like, yeah, I know, it's so weird.
Wow.
A couple days go by, and she's in traffic, and she takes the picture of a bumper sticker in front of her because it said, I love meth.
Wow.
Just thinking that, like, who would put that on their car? And I commented on it because it was on her story again. I was like, yo, look at the license plate. 0044.
Wow.
She's like, oh my God, that's so weird.
44s everywhere.
So, and it just kept happening, and it kept happening. And she's like, what are you doing? Like, how do you do this? Like, she finally reached out to me. I was like, listen, I told you, like, I've been expecting you. Well, after months, and then we finally met each other and talking to her, I kept being able to do this. I got her to quit her job and come work for me.
Wow.
And she was driving all the way from Pittsburgh every day, hour and a half both ways. So to convince a beautiful woman to leave her job and to drive 3 hours every day to come work for you, it takes more than just some...
They paying her $44 an hour?
Yeah, I was paying her pretty good. But
it's not 44, yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah. 44. That's a crazy number.
Yeah. Well, 44 is the, like, twin flame number. So everybody... The way the story goes, the way it was explained to me is everybody has a twin flame in this life, and it's a process that you go through. It's very painful. you think that the person is actually your soulmate, but they're actually like a mirrored version of you. She would be the feminine version of me, like mirrored versions of each other. And she was very manipulative, as am I, and very talented, and we would just bump heads on everything.
Wow.
But she taught me so much, all through pain, of course. But I learned a lot from her, and it ended up leading to this big real estate opportunity. Like I said, it was like $1.2 million real estate opportunity, and then 2 other ones. Kind of fast forward, or rewind rather, how this all started with this spiritual gift, being able to interpret numbers or interpret signs, being able to interpret dreams. Basically, it's psychic abilities.
Wow.
And I just never knew I had them until a few years ago, and it's just been escalating. I'm using these abilities in real estate to find deals, to close deals, to meet people, I've prevented somebody from contracting a STD.
Wow.
I've prevented somebody from falling off a ladder. I've been able to predict my daughter getting bit by a dog before it happened.
And you predicted something here today with me when we were sitting down. That's a little creepy. It's been on my mind a little bit. The little touches and rub and feels you're getting on you.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's something positive and not my poor heart condition or something crazy, man. I try to laugh it off, but hopefully, it's something good. Hopefully it's something successful that we're going to be working on. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it will.
Heck yeah. But I wanna talk about this. Talk about some of this predictions and when you discovered this. When you first, did you learn it from somebody? Did somebody make you aware that these numbers that you're seeing?
No.
I
was taught. It might sound a little bit crazy, but I just started to notice at first. But really, I was taught by an angel. What I know, and I'm continuing to be taught by an angel. I kind of discovered, it started with my lights flashing in my bedroom. I had a near-death experience where an angel saved my life, and I'll go into it a little bit, but after the near-death experience, I started praying, and I started going to church, and I noticed that, after I prayed, some weird things started happening in my house. All of a sudden the lights would start flashing, and I don't mean they'd flicker during a lightning storm. I'm talking about completely sunny outside, and poltergeist style, every light in the house just goes, fades all the way down to nothing, and then the lights come all the way back on. Oh. And it scared the hell out of me. But I guess where it all originally started, my awakening process, was the fall of 2021. I was driving home from my uncle's bar, and I was real tired. We worked all day, and I wasn't drunk or anything. I might have had 2 drinks, but if anybody knows Hubbard, right when you're getting on the on-ramp, right there on 80, right there past Flying J's, the on-ramp and the off-ramp, it's the Clover style system where they run parallel. And there's just it's not even a curb. It's just a little hump. Well, when I was getting on, I went over the hump unknowingly, thinking I was getting onto the on-ramp of the highway. I actually got on the off-ramp, and I was going the wrong way down 80 full speed on the highway, 70 miles per hour.
Wow.
And
there was no other cars on the road or anything?
No, there was no other cars, so I didn't even know that I was going the wrong way.
Too tired.
Yeah, I was tired. It was late, and it's in that on-ramp right there. It's so dark. There's no lights. It's really easy to do. I went back and looked at it. It's very easy to do. What makes the story kind of even more crazy is I kept having a reoccurring dream of dying in a head-on collision, to where I literally experienced the impact in slow motion. That was not just like a foggy dream, but it was literally a full-on vision in slow motion. I kept having this reoccurring dream, and I would even tell my friends, hey man, I'm gonna die in a car wreck.
Wow.
And I kept experiencing this impact in slow motion, and for months prior to it actually happening, I kept having that dream.
Wow. That would be some freaky stuff.
Yeah.
Just a dream You know what I mean? I mean, we all have dreams, but to keep having the same one, and then to
You ever have deja vu?
yeah, that's
So
great.
there's something behind that.
What are deja vus? Can you explain those real quick? We're gonna break this
I
down.
think deja vu is just when you have a dream and you don't remember it. And then when you actually live the moment you dreamt about, you can't recall the dream, but there's something still there in your subconscious from the dream. So God will give you dreams of the future all the time. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are pineal glands, or I always pronounce it wrong. What's that gland in your brain that fluoride calcifies real bad?
Wow.
That's a tribute to the dreamlike state. It's I want to say penile, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the brain term, but I want to know.
So there's a gland in your brain that is real sensitive to fluoride, and when it's calcified from fluoride and glyphosate and other things that they put in our water, it you don't have the dreams that, say, prophets used to have in the Bible back in the day. Like anybody who's ever gotten to the Bible, there's always prophets that God would give dreams that they could interpret dreams, and kings and pharaohs would always seek the advice of prophets before they go to war. You know, people think the Bible is just a story tell or some sort of fictional book.
What is the Bible?
The Bible is a recount of history.
Is it true that Disney just bought the Bible?
King James Version, yeah.
So that is true.
And they're already editing it. You got to ask, you know, of all the religions, and I jump around a lot, so forgive me, but of all the religions, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, all these different gods, which is the one that they're always attacking and they're always mocking? Jesus.
Yeah.
Look at little Dickie being fake crucifixion, being hung on the cross.
Yeah.
The baby, fake crucifixion, being hung on the cross. All the demonic shit with Lady Gaga and all these different celebrities. Like, why are they always mocking God or Jesus? Right? It's real. The Bible's real. Every story in it, even the things that sound crazy.
So the Bible is a real thing? Because I'm not spiritual or religious or nothing. My kids think I'm atheist, but I'm not atheist either. I really just don't talk about it.
I used to be an atheist.
Yeah, you know how I am. It's just I've always been kind of like this. You know what I mean? But I don't hate it, and I don't disagree or shoot nobody down for believing in that, whatever you believe in. You know what I mean? But so sometimes I do listen to some of this, and I do get skeptical. You know what I mean? Because I'm like more of a science guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like, you know, unless I've seen it or they got the matter to really break it down. You know,
You don't understand the warfare that you're victim to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all part of the deception. Like, for example, like
Vulnerable right now.
you've been lied to since birth about everything. And
Well, I grew up in a religious home. I used to go to church every Sunday.
and the Catholic Church is a good example of how they perverted God.
I feel like church was a cult.
Yeah, the Catholic Church is a cult, and was put there by Satan to push people away from it. That's why the Catholic preachers are pedophiles. That's why the Catholic Church has a telescope named Lucifer. That's why if you research the Vatican and you see all of the demonic symbolism and things that they're doing, you start to be able to connect the dots.
So you believe in demons and devils and all that, and all that's real.
Yeah, it's all real.
You seen demons
Yeah, once. It was
like face to face type, or you just
not
like it?
all. I took DMT one time.
Oh snap!
Anybody who's taking DMT,
I've seen some things.
sees you through you break through the veil.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to talk more about this. I don't mean to bring that up, but everybody that experiences it has an extreme detailed experience, and it's
Joe
it's
Rogan,
so
All time.
I haven't tried it. I want to so bad. Just,
Mike Tyson.
I want to see. Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of
They've been
celebrities.
microdosing it lately. Like they're trying to legalize it, I guess, or they have a pen for it now. A pen that you hit it like a vape pen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's definitely a profound experience. I've tried it. What I'm speaking on, though, is something that I've been experiencing every day. Like, I'm sober. I don't drink.
It's beyond
I don't
any
smoke.
drug. Then
I don't do drugs. I've definitely experimented with things like DMT a couple times recreationally. But I've always been terrified of any hallucinogenics personally, especially acid. Like, I've never done anything like that. But DMT is something that it's already naturally in your body, and it's in everything. It's called the God molecule, right? It's in grass, it's in animals, it's in you. So if it's already in you, your body metabolizes it and you return to baseline very quickly because it's already part of your genetic makeup and chemical structure.
Wow.
So when you ingest it, you're completely sober in a minute.
Wow.
You have a profound hallucinogenic experience that is honestly very blissful.
So you don't actually, like, you don't get up and do stuff while you're on it? You just stay in the same spot?
The best way to explain it is,
I've never even seen a video of somebody using it, or like, I don't even know how, like, do you smoke it?
you smoke it. The best way, I mean, this has all been part of ancient, like the Mesopotamians, the Aztecs. They all used to mash a vine together with a leaf and make ayahuasca, and it was part of their religious ceremony. It's very taboo because we've been trained to believe that, drugs are bad, and yes, they are today's drugs, but there was a religious component to this molecule. It wasn't taken for just to get high.
Just for recreation.
This was for like ceremonies, things that have been around for thousands of years. DMT is the same thing as ayahuasca. It's just in a different form. Like ayahuasca would last 8 hours. Wow. DMT would last maybe a minute. But
ayahuasca, that's a crazy, I've heard that before.
The best way to explain it is your eyes can only see 10% of the visual light spectrum. There's a whole nother 90% in this room right now that you can't see of the visual light. There could be a demon right in front of you, but because your eyes can't see but 10% of the light spectrum, and your ears can only hear 10% of the decimals, that's why you can't hear a dog whistle, right?
Wow.
But dogs can't. When you ingest DMT, you can see the full light spectrum. So the demons and angels that have been there in front of you the whole time are now visible.
Oh, wow.
You can hear, see things that you normally wouldn't see.
Do you go places, like, in your mind, like a journey?
I'm not an expert on it, honestly.
Yeah,
I've only done it a couple times.
Because my buddy, he said he took it and he woke up and he was in Jerusalem. He said he felt his feet in the sand, like he could feel it in between his toes. It was that detailed to him. Yeah. And he said and he just kept hearing a voice, and he said he had this real warm feeling, and he just saying, Jehovah loves you. And he said at the time he didn't know what Jehovah was. So when he came back to, he looked it up and he found out that it was like another term for God.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing about that either, but that's what he said. And that's ever since then he said he's been looking for that warmth again.
I saw a demon. I didn't know it was a demon at the time. It took me 6 months to realize what I saw. I didn't realize that the Hebrew term or the American term dragon is directly translated into serpent in Hebrew. And I seen this dragon that was trying to hide from me. And it was an experience. I don't want to take away from what the message I'm trying to bring about the things that are happening. That's, I mean, it's something recreational. You might get a religious experience out of it, but I didn't get one. I just know that I saw a demon, and I never did it again. Like, that was enough.
Yeah, that was scary
for me. Like, I checked that box and you're gone.
Yeah.
Some people, they consider themselves astronauts, and they like that.
Yeah. I know Joe Rogan's he uses it quite often, I think, but he likes to do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
5-methyl DMT, the frog venom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Things like that. Yeah, I like to hear about
He tries the craziest of things, man. It'd be interesting to have his plugs. You know what I mean? Just the people he knows. You know what I mean?
I'd be terrified.
Oh, he probably knows a lot of crazy things that we don't know. You know what I mean?
It'll definitely open your eyes.
Yeah.
The things I want to talk about, though, are right in front of you. You don't need anything to see them. They're right there. Just nobody notices them.
You just got to connect the dots, kind of?
No, you just have to be observant.
All right. Okay, so
if somebody pointed it out to you, like, you ever have a logo and somebody would say, wow, did you see that? Like, when you look at it this way, do you see the crab, the robot violating a crab in that logo? And it's the Chicago Bulls logo, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at the bull from the Chicago Bulls basketball team and you turn the logo upside down. And you got to pull this up when you edit.
It's like a silhouette.
You got to pull this up when you edit this. What I'm telling you, I'm just using this as an example.
I'm gonna put it. It's gonna be on the screen right here.
Pull up the Chicago Bulls logo, and turn it upside down, invert it, and you will see a robot raping a crab. I'm using this as an example, right?
That's real though.
That's real, yeah.
A crab.
Edit it into this video.
Dang, that's
You'll see
two
a robot.
totally different. That's
You'll
crazy.
see a robot giving back shots to a crab if you take the Chicago Bulls logo and turn it upside down. The only reason why I'm mentioning this is just there's things in plain sight and plain view in your everyday life that you would never notice unless somebody pointed out to you, right?
Oh.
And that's what I'm here to do.
All right, so I noticed that you have a log of numbers. You ever go back to these numbers and reference them?
Yeah, all the time.
Is it just to look like similar events?
I don't know. I guess going back to my story about the semi truck and the deja vu and near death experience, like to take you back to the beginning when this all started. So I was having a reoccurring dream of a head-on collision to where I experienced a violent impact, and I've been in a lot of car wrecks. I've never experienced an impact this violent. It was terrifying, and I knew that I was going to die.
Whoa.
So I've only ever had 3 full-on visions where it's not like a dream. It's like HD, realer than real, and this was one of them. The other one was I got crushed by a tree branch, and it happened. I had this dream of getting crushed by a tree branch. A few months later, I got crushed by a tree branch, and
That's gotta be scary.
it messed up my shoulder. A dead tree branch, giant tree branch, fell out of a tree and crushed me while I was underneath it. But I had a vision of that, and then it happened, and then I had the recurring dream vision of the semi truck head-on collision, and then it happened. The only difference is I was saved that night. An angel woke me up when I was driving the wrong way down the highway, and I swerved and just missed the semi as I was coming straight at it. And when I swerved, there was an emergency turnaround in the middle of the 2 highways, and it was just perfect. As I swerved, I went through the emergency turnaround, and I don't remember the rest of the trip home. Next thing I know is I woke up in my bed.
Wow.
It was the craziest thing.
So it was just like that.
It was definitely a demonic night. Like everybody, we had a birthday party at this family operated bar, and everybody had a terrible story. Like when we all went home, one of my other cousins almost got ran over by a car. My other 2 cousins, something happened to them. I think they got into a fight. I almost got into a wreck. There was just something about that night.
Damn.
And I had been dreaming about it. Well, this was fall of 2021. After it didn't have like a profound impact on my life right away after it happened, but I started to go to church again, and I hadn't gone to church in forever, decades. And when I did, it might have just been once or twice. But I started going to church, and there was like a lot of spiritual warfare. I didn't recognize it at the time as being spiritual warfare, but a lot of things that were just holding me back from going to church and changing. Just, the wrong people at the right time popping up to try to like get you off track.
Yeah.
Things going on in your personal life or in relationships to just try to derail me, because I was on the like beginning of a huge awakening, coming to Christ. Eventually I made it to church. I started praying, and then one night I prayed this prayer. I had some family members that died, and I prayed this prayer, and I was like, God, if you're real, I want you to show me that you're real, and some of my loved ones that passed away, can you give me a sign and let me know if they're in heaven?
Wow.
And the next day I was driving home from work, and I was coming like where I lived. I live on top of a hill, and I was coming over the crest of this hill. And as I was coming over the crest of the hill, their song came on the radio. You might know it's by Bush. And he goes, I don't want to come back down from this cloud.
Wow.
It's taking me all this time to find. And as he said this cloud, I looked up in the clouds, and all 5 of my family members' faces were painted like portraits.
Wow.
In the sky, like full-on portraits of their faces.
That's
In
crazy.
the clouds. The day after I prayed for it, and I was like, well, me as somebody who was like, I've never had an experience like that before. I never hardly prayed. Now I'm just now started praying for the first time, like sincerely. I mean, I prayed years ago, but I've never had an experience like this to where a prayer was deliberately answered the very next day in such a massive way.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Wow. I would have tried to take a picture of that thing.
I was just
You weren't even
shocked.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like, whoa.
I was just shocked. But yeah, after that experience, I went to church. I started praying, and then these crazy things started happening. I don't want to say crazy. These spiritual experiences
Wow.
started happening, and some of them I didn't pray for, and some of them were scary, and they just kept happening. And I kept praying, and I kept going to church, and I started bettering myself. And the more I prayed, the more I bettered myself, the more these experiences kept on happening, and it got to the point to where, like, it was starting to get a little bit scary.
Wow. So it's like like a lot of the things were just happening positively in your life, or just predicted.
Well, it started with the lights flashing. Like I would,
Oh, so it's like paranormal almost kind of thing. Okay.
like I'd be sitting in my room, and all of a sudden the lights would flash. Paranormal, like every light in the house would just,
Like poltergeist style activity.
yeah, not just a flicker. Like it'd be sunny outside, no storms. I lived in the same house for 12 years. The lights have never flashed. Have a brand new electric service panel. None of this has ever happened before. All of a sudden I'm praying, and like all these things are happening. There's faces painted in the skies.
Wow.
Another time I was sitting on my porch, and a flock of geese flew over top of my head and spelt the words "I love you."
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, like it wasn't "I love you," but it was I, a heart, the letter U,
Wow.
as it flew over me. And like, who else could do that but God?
Wow. Talking to you through birds.
Yeah.
Bird talk.
So that's when I started. The first time I noticed something with animals is when he spelled "I love you" with the geese. And then I was driving down the highway again, Interstate 80 one day, and a crow crossed my path. And right after the crow crossed my path, I got pulled over. I got a speeding ticket.
So crows are bad.
Well, I didn't realize it then, but when it kept happening, I got another ticket. Right before I got a ticket, a crow crossed my path.
Wow.
Or I went to Bob Evans, I think it was Bob Evans, to eat, and a crow crossed my path, but the crow had a piece of like grass in his mouth, or a straw.
Yeah.
I went in, I ate the food, and immediately after I ate the food, I went home and I had like food poisoning.
Oh man.
And I just remembered that crow crossing my path, and it had a piece of straw in its mouth. So I started recognizing these patterns with animals. I recognized one night a fox crossed my path, and then things got stolen out of my truck.
Ooh, foxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started to be able to recognize these patterns with animals. Not just animals, but dreams. Some people call it deja vu. I was having like full-on visions of future events coming to pass.
Wow.
And then finally with numbers, and then even through touches on my body, which I'll get into a little bit.
Yeah. Touches sounds crazy.
Yeah,
You know, just to feel something. It's not just like an itch or something, like, you know what I mean? You know,
sometimes
feel just like
I think if
you get mistaken possibly.
like I've kind of pointed out like some of the things with animals, and once I point these things out to you, the different birds that cross your path, the distance. So
I see a red bird outside my window.
the cardinal. So that usually is associated with money.
What the fuck's that?
Yeah, money or
Nah, it's
blessing.
coming.
Like I think it's kind of funny. Like every time you see somebody post a picture on Facebook of them crashing into another deer, if they only knew what that meant, they wouldn't be bragging about hitting so many deer.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that a bad sign to hit
Yeah,
a
it
deer?
means you blew an opportunity.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
When you're living right, you don't smash in a deer.
Wow.
If you do something stupid to blow a big opportunity, you'll find that you run an animal over associated with that opportunity. Like
Wow,
I hit
that's so
cardinal
true.
recently, with my car. I knew what that meant.
Get a new car or what?
A cardinal.
Oh, I know. Yeah, like what's it mean?
So cardinals, to me, has always been associated with money.
Oh,
Opportunity involving money. Like I noticed, like a lot of times when I'd go on an estimate to sell a job for my company, oftentimes I would have a cardinal cross my path while I was writing the estimate in the person's yard. I would always sell the job. So I just started to notice these things. And when I hit a cardinal with my car, I knew I had blown an opportunity that I could have capitalized on,
man.
had I acted.
Hopefully it doesn't mean you're about to lose some money.
Yeah.
I guess you want somebody to do something.
To break a few eggs, make an omelet. That's for sure.
Man. Yeah, I definitely believe that. I never thought about that.
Well, if you start to notice these things, you won't be able to unsee it now.
Yeah.
So look driving, you'd be like, why did that bird just blatantly do that? That doesn't make sense. Why does this keep happening? And then, so I'll give you a little bit of insight that I've learned. The distance, how far it is from you when the animal crosses your path, represents time. If it crosses your path far up ahead, you have quite a bit of time. If it crosses your path very closely to where you almost hit it with your car, that would mean today.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the distance would mean time.
Okay.
Also, the time of day would be part of the message. So if a crow crosses your path at 6:26 p.m., and let's say your daughter's birthday is 6:26, and it crosses at 6:26 p.m., then it would be associated to your daughter most likely.
Dang.
So the time of the day, type of animal, the contents of which you see it, and the distance that it crosses your path are all part of the message. And this is how psychics find dead bodies for the police.
Wow.
In the woods. It's not done through information being beamed into their head. It's all done through observation.
So just kind of piece it together with a little more supernatural-ish kind of.
So if you read your Bible, God has always used animals as a medium to communicate with men and women. There are stories of after the great flood, the dove that landed on the ark holding the olive branch, or the story of Liam where he spoke through a donkey. God has always used animals as a medium. Prophets like Joseph that could interpret dreams for Pharaoh. There's always, this is all through the Bible. So I mean, it's in the Bible.
So when you predict when you see these numbers, are they like they predict something? It's normally not something quick. It's not like something right now, unless it's the bird that's in front of your window.
It's very difficult. It takes years to read everything to be able to know when something is right now. But one of the tricks that I've learned is there'll be a zero in between the two numbers. Like if you're talking about numbers now, so if you keep seeing, I'll just use the number 626 again.
Yeah.
Or what let's say July 1st, right? 7/1.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a business meeting on July 7th, right? Or an interview for a new job.
Yeah.
And you keep getting behind cars and the license plate is 7777. So it says right in the Bible, the devil's number is 666. The Lord's number is 7. Like this is biblical. And let's say you had, and 777 is always associated with like a blessing, right? That's why all the casinos are 777. It's known as good luck, good fortune.
Lucky 7.
Yeah. So
hit that 7.
So if you had a job interview on July 7th, 7/7, and you keep getting on your receipt $7.77, and then you get behind a car at a stoplight and you see his license plate is 777, and then this number is following you everywhere, it's like, well, what do I have going on that day? So once you learn the meaning of each individual numbers, you can start to interpret things. So, for example, I was born 1985. My birthday is 85. If I have a mistake that I'm going to make, God will give me my birthday backwards. What's 85 backwards?
What's that? 5891?
No, 58.
Oh, 58.
Yeah, 85 backwards is 58.
58. Yeah.
So if I'm wrong about something, how would God tell me I'm wrong? He'll give me my birthday backwards. So instead of 85, it'll be 58, right? So if I have another example, let's say I had a plane scheduled for the 19th, right? And I keep seeing, like even right now, just having this itch right now, like all these things have meaning. I'll break it down for you. But let's say you had a flight scheduled for the 19th and you just keep seeing 1911, 1911 everywhere. You buy something at the store, the receipt is $19.11. And you get behind the car and the license plate is ABC 1911. And you have a flight scheduled for the 19th. Well, I would probably change my flight if I keep seeing 1911 everywhere. Because what's 911?
Oh, yeah.
Emergency, right?
Yeah.
And you have a flight scheduled for the 19th. So it's just through common sense, observation, all these things. Animals, numbers, dreams. Mine's a little bit more.
Do you ever just look at anything and just wonder maybe it's just coincidence?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe it's like you see something, it's like, you know, it's like that might be might be a number of something, but it's like, well, maybe it just happens to be. I mean, there's only 10 numbers really. You know, I mean, 0 through 9 really.
Yeah, but it's not just coincidence when you smash. Let's say like I was moving to Florida when I was 19 years old, and somebody's gonna have a story similar to this that they can relate to. On my way to moving to Florida, I crashed into a bird as soon as I got on the highway. And when I got to Florida, I was 17 years old, I think, actually, when I made this move. It was a horrible decision to move back down to Florida on my own at only 17. Got into so much trouble. It was just a bad move. And I'll never forget the day that I left from PA to move back down to Florida, hitting that bird on the highway. And I never associated that to God trying to tell me that like this was a bad move. Yeah. Or another time I was on my way to like a party, and I haven't been to a party in years, but the very last time I went to a party, I almost got drugged.
Wow.
Because somebody had hit an acid sitting on their beer. I don't drink, but I was drinking an iced tea, and I was an old friend I haven't seen in a while, and he had a tab of acid sitting on the end of his beer, and I have an iced tea, and he went to cheers me, and the acid disappeared, and I drank my drink. And I was like, what was that sitting on your drink? He's like, oh, that was acid. I was like, where did it go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not on your drink anymore. Oh, shit.
I fell in your drink, yeah.
You just toasted me. I just drank my drink, and I'm terrified of acid.
You never took it ever?
No, never.
Yeah, I heard it destroys your brain.
Yeah. Anything where you're locked in for 12 hours, I'm good.
My job.
But I'll never forget, on my way to that party, a giant bug splatted on my windshield.
Ooh, like real big.
And I remember things like that. When I moved to Florida, it was a bad decision. I hit a bird. Yeah. I was on my way to that party where I almost got drugged with acid. This giant it was a huge bug, dude. It was like, man, the biggest bug I've ever seen. It splatted on my windshield. Little things like that. Things that people consider coincidence, but they're not. Always running into the wrong person at the right time.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're on your way to meet your girlfriend and you ran over a rabbit, maybe it was God's way of telling you to keep your dick in your pants.
Oh, really? Might get burned.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you say you stopped somebody from catching the never betters?
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
That was through a dream, and I don't want to talk too much about that, but I did prevent somebody I prevented somebody from giving somebody an STD through God giving me a dream once.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just left a note on this person's door, and
listen, not all superheroes wear capes.
Like, you know, I had this dream, and I'm just warning you, don't sleep with this person. God told me that this person has something.
Wow.
And I just left an anonymous note.
And did you guys later find out that they did have something?
Well, it's not really something that you want to ask somebody.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what I was wondering. Maybe you found out like something.
I found out that the person had something later on. So
yeah, that's scary, man. Scary.
Yeah.
Keep it wrapped
up. Or one time a flock of crows prevented me from saving somebody from falling off a roof.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you did stop them?
Yeah.
Wow.
I turned my car around, got up on the roof, and prevented them. So after you've been doing this long enough, I've had instances where, because I've been doing this a few years now, I can interpret things. And I'm not saying that I'm always accurate, because you have to constantly put time in this, and frankly, it's very taxing. I don't want to constantly be looking at numbers and birds and be consumed by it. You know what I mean? And after you've been doing it for so many years, like, I just try to look out for the very blatant signs to where you know without a doubt that God is trying to say, slow down, stop, turn around.
I can imagine you at the zoo or like the racetrack. Be going nuts on all these numbers and animals and.
But you'll start to notice patterns, especially now that, I mean, it says right in the Bible that the devil's number is 666, right? So if you're constantly getting $6.66 on your receipts, and you're going behind cars and the license plate is 666, and you got a huge flock of crows crossing your path, you might want to think, well, what do I have coming up in my schedule that could potentially be dangerous? And the one time that this happens, what I'm explaining to you, and then something terrible happens to you, you'll never forget it, like me. And you'll constantly be aware of your surroundings. I mean, if I could help one person prevent, even if it's just one person, by what I'm teaching or telling, prevent one person from a car wreck or getting robbed, or, you know, all the things that God would be trying to warn you about, and most people just write off that hitting that bird or that bug spotting on your windshield or getting behind, you know what I mean, just write it off. Well, maybe now they won't.
So I wonder if you are one of the only ones out here that are able to kind of see into the future with animals and numbers. Now, have you ever met anybody at all? I know we talked about it, but
Yeah.
you've met people that have some similar numbers?
I never met, but I know one pasture has this. Mine's deeper than just observation, though. I actually have, and I don't like to talk about this much because a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I'll tell you some of the things that I've done with my gift. I've made a lot of money with it, so I don't point to that to try to convince people that, like, I'm special. Yeah, I made some money. I just point to that to show you that, hey, I'm not just some bum off the street telling you some crazy story.
Oh, so there's some rich people that are crazy, though.
I've made a lot. I won't say it. Well, maybe by today's standards. I've written contracts for $350,000. I've signed contracts for $350,000 on real estate that I didn't have any money.
Wow.
That God told me to sign this contract through observing animals. And then within 30 days, I found an investor that gave me $350,000 to buy this property. And that's how I got one of my real estate deals.
Wow.
So I've had big successes like that. I've had where God told me to sell a piece of property that I didn't want to sell, like a house that I absolutely loved. And I would sell the house out of obedience, and even at a low price that broke my heart. But right after I sold the house, I got 3 houses for the same price.
Man.
Through another real estate transaction.
Hold on, you still got your regular house, right?
Yeah, I have quite a few properties.
Okay, I was talking about the one you've been at for the Harp House. I call it. The Harp House.
I got that one.
Yeah, I love the house. You better never. I don't care who tells you this. I don't care if you get a telegram from Jesus. Don't sell it. Okay. No, 'cause I do like that. That's a dope house. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
But so you've made money. Have you? And you've been able to tell other people things that you saw that might help them out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've gotten people to quit their job and come work for me. I've done real estate transactions.
Hoping you can tell me to quit my job and be a full-time YouTuber. That would be so awesome.
This might be a big break.
Heck yeah, this is it.
Views.
Yeah, we're gonna open up a whole
I mean, I can expand on
psychic.
it further. Basically,
I want to see it.
What I would want people to take from this is not just like, this is called prophetic prophecy, the prophetic side of spirituality. There's always been prophets, right? Mm-hmm. And how did God communicate with them? You know, it wasn't like he just appeared before them and said, hey, you need to go here or do this. He that's not how God works, because then you wouldn't have free will.
They're in that dream state. Is that when he talks to them?
Well, you wouldn't have free will if God just told you what to do.
Yeah.
There's people like myself that can interpret signs. And it's not like an exact science either. You're not always going to be on point, but the few times that you are, you're not going to forget it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to forget saving somebody's life or preventing, or making a lot of money or Mine's a little bit different. I actually get touches on my body, and I'll freak you out with this. Maybe you'll start to notice it. But mine started, like I was saying, with the lights flashing. After I prayed, the lights would start flashing. And I noticed before my accident that the lights were flashing at 9:11 p.m. And I didn't know it at the time, but then when I went and got in that accident, like, wow, maybe he was trying to warn me. 9:11 p.m., 911. Flashing the lights might have been a warning. Wow. So I never forgot that. And then it got to the point to where it just kept happening until one night I stopped being scared because I thought it was demonic. I thought I had like a haunting or something.
Yeah.
I didn't put it together that it was actually God at the time until one night, like after months of these lights flashing in my house at different times, I finally just said it in my mind. I didn't even speak the words. I just thought it. I said, "Flash the lights if you're trying to communicate with me." I thought it in my mind. Guess what happened?
It flashed the lights?
Instantly.
Wow. That's a ghost. That's I watched a lot of
Could it be an angel?
Well, yeah, I never thought about that. Angels. See, because remember, I'm skeptical, so I don't know. I don't even believe in ghosts. I wish they were real because I love the thought, but I've never seen none. So, I've never seen $1 million either, though. So,
well, that's real, man. Angels are real. Demons are real. The Bible is real. God is real. Satan is real.
And, Satan is real?
Definitely. 100%.
I always thought it was fake.
Here, I'll give you an example that I like to point to. Why do you think all these celebrities are doing all these demonic rituals right in front of your face?
To sell records or sell their... It's a fad, I think. It's almost like,
It's in style?
Yeah, some people like that. Do you know how many casino games are devil-themed? You know what I mean? People like that kind of stuff. I do a lot of gambling, so I see a lot of like...
No, they're definitely doing a ritual.
There's a game called Lucifer or something. Or Lucifer Spins. Or, you know what I mean? It's the theme.
Why do you think
demons.
All the celebrities cover one eye? Why do you think they all throw up 666? You see the...
I thought they needed something to throw up, to be honest. Because you know how suburban kids are. They just want to be in a gang.
No, it's a fucking cult.
Damn. So you believe in the whole cult thing?
Which one?
I like the Illuminati.
For sure.
You like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West, stuff like that?
Yeah, you got to spend enough time.
So what about Kanye West? How do you feel about Kanye West? Let's talk about him.
Kanye West?
Yeah. I think you guys have similar beliefs. You like the Kanye West of Hermitage. Except without the rap career. Actually, you do have a rap career, so I'm going to take that back.
I'm not an asshole, though.
No, Kanye's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
I love Kanye's music, though.
But anybody who speaks the truth is always kind of looked at as an asshole. Now, one thing I do like about Kanye, the old Kanye, I don't know what they did to him recently, but ever since...
Before the titanium teeth?
Before he started endorsing Balenciaga and doing stuff like that, because the old Kanye would never do something like that. But you know what Balenciaga stands for, right?
Is that
Ball is king?
Oh, see, I don't know that about that.
You know who Ball was?
No.
See, that's the thing is, anytime you're speaking the truth or you have a lot of knowledge, you're always going to be looked at as crazy.
It's just because people are unfamiliar, so anything unfamiliar is abnormal.
Because
Strange, crazy.
Majority of people are ignorant.
Yeah. Off in their own little world, they don't really care to learn about anything else.
We worship the programming.
Yeah.
That's why it's called programming.
That's why I like playlists that are made for me by Spotify.
Everything that comes out that TV, they think is the gospel, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And that's why people are in the mess that they're in, is because we don't have honest, open media. I know with 100% certainty that we are living in the end times. Anybody who would open up their Bible and actually read it could see all the end time prophecies coming to pass. Whether it's the Euphrates River driving up, that's been in your Bible. The Bible's been around for thousands of years, and guess what just dried up recently? The Euphrates River.
Really?
Yeah. And there's hundreds of prophecies, like if anybody would actually pick up the book and read it, that were written thousands of years ago that are all coming to pass right now. And the next thing you're going to see come to pass at some point, you'll see with blockchain and cryptocurrency, the mark of the beast, where you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade without having a chip. The Bible prophesied that.
That's wild. I want a chip.
You want a chip?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not into like any of that. So to me, it's like, yo, bro, I can get my credit card. I ain't gotta worry about losing my debit card no more. And here's my ID, sir. You know what I mean? Hands up, scan me.
That scares me because I love you. And,
well, it's like, because I'm an Elon Musk guy. I love Elon Musk and everything he does. And like, so, him talking about the Neuralink. Have you heard what the guy who has the first Neuralink?
Yeah.
Yo, that is he said his brain moves in advance.
Yes.
He said the AI in his head or whatever, he said it does things before he thinks it. Now, it's gotten to that where it's able to, like, because he plays video games now because he's paralyzed.
The same people that told you the vaccine was safe and effective.
Yeah.
You're going to believe putting a chip in your head now after you put a shot in your arm?
Yeah, I did get a shot too.
And you still got COVID, didn't you?
No, not afterwards, actually, I don't think. Yeah. I might have, but I didn't get tested. I don't know.
Well,
COVID is like a cold nowadays. You never know.
These are the same people that told you the vaccine was safe and effective.
Yeah. That was Elon Musk that said that?
Well,
or just the government?
In general.
Okay.
The propaganda. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, me personally, I had family members that took the shot and then died 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did mention that.
So it's personal to me.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I got the shot just because I was like, I wanted to go to Walmart without a mask. Because I'm still the reason I got the shot. Because I wasn't afraid of stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I figured, I don't get the flu shot, though. But
everything we've been taught is a lie. The more you read, this thing is nobody really looks into these things. Nobody notices these things. Nobody reads anymore. Everybody's just concerned with the football game on Sunday.
Content with their own little world. Yeah.
Trying to survive because that's another thing the Bible predicted is this inflation that we're experiencing. That's just how they said it's end times, how the inflation is like a day's wages. The exact quote I believe in the Bible is a day's wages will get you a loaf of bread. That's how I describe the inflation. We're starting to see the beginning of that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you can feel it, but since COVID, since 2020, there's been a massive shift and a change in people. Everybody's kind of going through this transitional stage where you're being forced to pick a side. You're being forced to change. And
we are forced to pick sides all the time. It's always this side, that side, whether it's political, medical, recreational, sports, it's always something.
Well, before the Lord comes, and he will, I promise you, everybody will know that, the things that I'm talking about today, they're true, man. I wish they weren't. I've prayed for even like the spiritual gifts and everything, the things that I'm experiencing, which I believe is angelic, that God wants me to share what I've learned. And despite what it cost me, whether it's people thinking I'm crazy, this, that, and the third, I don't really care until somebody who's done more than I have in business, in health, and in all the facets that we measure success. Yeah. I don't really care what those people think. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, as somebody who has done things in all of these different areas, somebody who you could, I don't want to say look up to, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not some bum off the streets. I've done very well for myself. Yeah. And I'm telling you that, man, it's true. We are living in the end times. These things that I'm experiencing, I think anybody can experience. You don't have to have a spiritual gift to notice these things. And now that I've shared it with you, I'm sure you'll be texting me at some point. So you'll start to
keep seeing these numbers, man. What's that mean?
Well, if you you're driving down the road and a huge flock of crows cross your path, and then you get into an accident just up the street, you're not going to forget that.
Yeah. I'm hoping I get that, I get the good sign one. I want the white cat or something.
Yeah, the white cat's good.
Yeah, that white cat. Chase Cominsky, you're that white cat, man. I need you in here. That'll give me what I need.
The good one, you know what the gray cat stands for?
What? What's the money cat?
The gray cat is feminine energy. So if you have like a gray cat, across your path, you're gonna meet a girl.
Oh man.
Yeah, orange cat is masculine energy. A black cat is like a terrible sign. Black cat. We all know what that is. How do you think these things get started? Black cat crossing your path.
I thought it was like a Halloween thing.
Somebody just made that up.
I thought black cats were like just All the bad luck.
It is. It's like the worst sign. I just had one cross my path a few days ago.
A black cat.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
Or two.
You just still just waiting to see what it is. It's this interview. It's better to destroy your image. Nah, you good, man. This is very interesting talk though, because where can I find a way to break this down into like a real video that shows somehow of, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess it takes time, because it's like you can't just like, oh look, there's a number, boom, look, there's a car accident. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's like yo, okay, look, I keep getting this number. It means something's coming. Yeah. I don't know what though, but it's, you know what I mean?
The thing you gotta like is it's not just numbers. It's dreams, it's numbers, it's animals. God says right in the Bible, "For I do speak, yet no one perceives it. One way I speak like this, and one way another." It might be a song at just the right time. There was a time that I was praying for a house, and as I was praying for a house, the song said, "I will give you the keys." Right as I asked God for a house, the song said, "I will give you the keys." And shortly after that, I got a house.
Damn, what song was that? 'Cause I got a couple things.
It was a spiritual song by Kim Clement.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think if you listen to that.
No. I pulled it up on YouTube, but I don't know. That's my jams right there.
Great, Kim Clement.
I'm trying to expand my musical palette, but man, I'm trying to get off of. I love hip hop, but I've been moving to like R&B a little bit more. You know what I mean? Hip hop's kind of boring to me. Same old hoopla. Kim, what's her name? Kim Hackett?
Kim who?
Clemens. Kim Clem.
Oh, it's a man.
Oh, man.
Kim's a man.
My bad, man. Yeah. Normally Kim's a female, you know.
Well, Kim Clement, he was a prophet. He predicted Trump becoming president.
Oh,
when he was even a thing.
Does he make episodes for The Simpsons?
Yeah, I mean, you can check him out. There's a thing he has online called School of the Prophet. It's one of the video series I first started watching.
He's accurate. Everything you've seen is real for the most part.
He predicts a lot of things.
Wow.
That have come to pass. You could Google his prophecies.
Would you be interested in trying to create a channel such as that?
I'm not a prophet.
What do you consider yourself? Just a woke.
I have a talent, a spiritual gift.
Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you some things that if you really want to get into this, anybody who's interested, have you ever had chills?
Yeah.
Up your body?
Mm-hmm.
Your hair stands up all of a sudden?
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Nerves.
Just your nerves?
Or,
like you get a big chill all of a sudden, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Or you just get a random itch for no reason.
Yeah, random itches.
Like you're in your car, windows up, there's no bugs in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
no, I'm getting itchy now, yeah, think about it. Well, every time I think about it, I get you, I mean.
So, what if you started keeping a log of what time it was every time you got an itch on your body, and you realize, wow, I get one at the same time every single day.
Yeah, hopefully
just comes like that. Yeah. So my thing is a little bit deeper. I actually get touches on my body from an angel. Like, and I've had this happen to me for years now, to where I'm starting to realize that I'm being taught a language through touch. So if he touches me here underneath my eye, like I'm crying, and then he touches me here, and then he touches me here. So eye would be bad, like you're crying. Mouth would be something I say, and then this is how I tell time. The palm of my hand is today. My forearm would be a week. Elbow is 2 weeks. Bicep is 3 weeks. And this is 4 weeks. So if he says bad, something you say, and he touches this finger, I know in 4 days. Palm is today.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So, and I'm just learning.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah, it's deep, man.
Yeah, you definitely have like a little chart or something going on there.
Yeah, I started keeping a thing, but mine's not just like an itch. Mine is like so intense that sometimes it feels like I'm getting hit with something.
So you have anything like you can tell like right now? Yeah, you look at my palm or something crazy, or like
no, that's
fell on my forehead.
That's demonic.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, like
so the lifeline ain't real.
Tarot reading and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean they're channeling energy from a different source than I am, though.
So if I call somebody on FaceTime that can read your cards, you wouldn't want it?
Yeah, that's real. If you're actually dealing with a legit witch.
Because some girl reached out to me and said she wanted to do it on an episode, but I was gonna do it with her over the internet.
I mean, if you want to draw a pentagram on the floor and start calling out to Satan and do things like that, you'll get a response.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I always wanted to get a Ouija board and just see what happens.
Well, there's a reason.
Are they
why,
fake?
There's a reason why people in power are always like throwing up this symbol. Like
I do that all the time.
Everybody. Well, that's 3 of them, but 2 of them.
Oh.
People don't understand some of your favorite celebrities worship the devil, and the reason that they're drawing pentagrams and doing some of these demonic things is, you could sell your soul and Satan will give you anything. Like, that's real. It really is real.
Man. So what's the downside selling your soul? Asking for a friend.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
No, I'm saying
That shit's real, man. I don't want to make a joke of it because
I know to you it is real.
If you really research these things, like these celebrities, like Doja Cat, who's covering themselves in blood and wearing these crazy demonic outfits, and Lady Gaga,
I saw her throwing this tantrum
and doing all this shit.
She was like freaking out.
What about Travis Scott?
He's just weird.
What about Travis Scott when he opened those portals and he's wearing a shirt of a guy with a blue paint passing through a door, and then it's red. The guy turns from blue to red, passing through a portal. He has a big portal up on the stage, and then 12 people die at his concert.
Wow.
When he's doing that ritual. But see, you guys are thinking it's just like a random concert thing where people randomly die. Like, that was an actual ritual that was being performed, and people died. Or how about the concert with Jason Aldean in Las Vegas when they were machine gunning the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
They say it's just some lone gunman up in a window, that had all these guns, and then next thing you know, bump stocks are illegal. Like, you guys don't have a clue.
Wow, I do remember that.
These are the same guys that will watch the towers collapse, 9/11. They'll collapse in 8 seconds, have free fall speed, and then believe the narrative that jet fuel melted the beams. Meanwhile, there's a dust cloud that swallows the entire city of Manhattan, and the buildings fell in 8 seconds. You don't even know that Tower 7 collapsed, and it didn't even get hit by it.
Oh, you deep into this world over here.
It's the truth, man.
I don't believe in none of that. I think it's all crazy, but
you can Google
some of it might not be what we think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know all the facts. Well, I do believe a plane hit it.
Well, you know that what's the other big skyscraper in New York? The old skyscraper that's very well known.
The Empire State Building.
Empire State Building. It got hit by a B-52 bomber, I believe, right after World War II sometime.
Really?
Yeah, you can Google anything I'm telling you.
It hit. Wow.
Fact check me.
And it did not fall nothing, huh?
No, just put a little hole in it.
Wow.
And then we crashed a much lighter plane, because that was a B-52 bomber that hit. We crashed a much lighter plane into the building, and the whole building collapsed into a pile of rubble.
Yeah.
In 8 seconds, it fell at free fall speed.
2 buildings. Crazy.
No, 3.
Oh, yeah, more buildings fell.
Tower 7 fell as well. It didn't even get hit by a plane. Google that.
It just fell out of nowhere by itself.
You didn't even know 3 towers fell.
It was like a little rock flew in there. Ding.
It kinks in the middle and then collapsed.
Wow.
Like a controlled demolition. But I'm saying these things happen, whether it's the Travis Scott concert, your favorite celebrities dressing up like demons, buildings collapsing, and there's always a narrative, right?
Wow.
And people believe the programming, they believe the lies. They just don't notice what's right in front of them. I happen to be one of those people that notice these things, whether it's current events, whether it's animals crossing my path, and then I get a ticket, and I just notice these patterns, and I look into it, and I research everything. Now, the downside of me telling you this on your podcast is if you weren't shadow being prior to me coming on, you will be now.
Well, that's why this is not live. We're going to edit this up a little bit. Might have to bleep a few words out, but they know what you mean. You know what I mean? But I'm not worried about that. But I do hope that somebody out there knows what you're talking about more in depth and has them same visions. Somebody that can see exactly what you see and knows maybe something else, can maybe even tell you something that you don't know, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
I'm looking for
a community of. I'm sure there's a community of people that can do it.
Is maybe to number one, to enlighten some people and to maybe shine a spotlight on Jesus, on God.
We're live here, guys.
And just kind of bring some awareness to some of these things that people probably just write off as coincidence. Maybe, but most of all, if I could find somebody else who's experiencing these things, I would really like them to help me figure out. I'm not trying to make anybody believe me anymore. I'm past that point. I think my successes in life will speak loud enough that I don't have to convince anybody that it's real of what I figured out. What I'm just trying to do is maybe just point it out, and if a couple of people notice the same thing, good for you. You know, I gave you something to expand on. Really, I'd like to find somebody who's maybe more advanced and has the same gifts that I could learn from as well.
Oh, wow. So that way you can try to help yourself and more.
Yeah, because I probably only understand 10% of what I see. Wow. Probably less. And I would like, especially if she's beautiful and sexy. Yeah, that would help. That would help.
Cute little Latina, huh? All right, here, listen, I got an investment opportunity, right? I thought about this just out of nowhere. I come up with these crazy ideas, and I often just speak of them and never think of them again. But we need to come up. Have you ever seen the glasses that blind people, or not blind people, but colorblind people use to see colors? They have these glasses now you can put on. What if we made those to open up the full light spectrum?
You can't.
That's just something we cannot do.
Yeah, you can't do it. Your eyes can't see it. I mean,
so we could come up with some kind of glasses that manipulate the lights and we
can't. I'm sure the government could.
That's some crazy stuff. The government, they're like 10 years ahead of what we have.
There's already a patent for what you're talking about, and when they gave it to the pilots of helicopters, there's a whole story behind it.
They started freaking out, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They started freaking out, and they started shooting down their own aircraft. Like
you saw kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, they were seeing demons and all kinds of crazy shit. It's like
another world
flying through the pits of hell, supposedly. And there is a thing behind that. I don't know what what it was called.
I'm definitely gonna look that up. That's as you said, the pilots that had
they were given
the full spectrum.
They could see, but there was I guess there's a patent on it. There's a lot of crazy operations like that. If you look into it, I mean, the world tries to convince you that we're living in like this very ordinary existence. And if anybody ever really knew the truth of just how much is really going on, it's just that they try to dumb us down so much that nobody really pays attention. And they try to make people sound crazy who aren't. And they try to put idiots as celebrities to where everybody follows the Island Boys. And
I knew you were going to say them.
These retards, anybody who's really a retard, they shine a spotlight on.
I know.
Anybody who's really got some game to give you, you know what I mean? They're shadow banned, and
but
that's all right, the world we're living in.
It's just how it goes. Man, I definitely hope we find a group so you can try to, you know what I mean? That's what we're gonna do. Our next venture is we're gonna make a video somehow. Plotting now. It's probably gonna be, little sequences of like, all right, I keep seeing this number, I'm gonna document it now, and then here whatever it comes from, it happens with video, document that. And also,
it's just real hard to read. Like if I was just starting,
or an animal,
I would just pay attention, like just while you're driving, pay attention to what the animals do.
Do you have a dash cam?
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, just get dash cams, just to see all the animals.
Yeah, I mean, once you really start to pay attention to why is these birds doing some of this crazy stuff? Why are they like suiciding themselves into my car? What is going on? We're like, so every bird has a different meaning, and you start to research like what the meaning, what these birds are known for, whether they swerve your car. So like if you have a robin that goes across your path and all of a sudden it turns right before you cross your path and swerves away, that would mean like a blessing that you could have obtained is you're going to miss out on it. That went across your path, but it swerved at the last second.
Wow.
So just notice, just observe what the animals do when you drive, and you'll start to see things. And you're like, man, this is really weird. I've never noticed this stuff before. and then you'll start to see reoccurring numbers.
See, cause I got birds that I almost hit every single day because they're always in the same spot every day. When I'm on my way home, they're always sitting in the same street eating whatever the hell's off the ground. You know what I mean? And they literally, well, sometimes like if they don't move, you try to get them out of the way, but they always fly out of the way at the last second. But I mean, is that a sign, or that's just like having a black cat type deal? It's like, yeah, just something you just see every day because of
yeah, if you just notice the color of animals.
Freaking pigeons. They're freaking gray pigeons.
So, like, for example, like, let's say you were on your way to closing for some sort of deal or some important meeting, and as you're on your way, or say an interview for a job, and as you're sitting at the cross or the red light, a big Great Dane crosses your path, and the Great Dane was speckled color. It was black and white. What that would mean was it can go either way. So if you're on your way to your job interview, the big Great Dane, because it's so big, would represent like a big opportunity. Yeah. If it was just a small little dog, it could be like a small opportunity. So the fact that it was a big Great Dane and you're on your way to maybe a closing of a big business deal, and the Great Dane was all white, then that would mean you have a big blessing coming that's crossing your path. If it's all black, that's terrible.
Dang.
That means that you're going to lose a big blessing. So you start to notice these patterns. And once you see them and you can incorporate them chronologically to events that are happening in real time, you can't unsee it.
So if I'm on a first date and I'm on my way there and a white rabbit runs in front of me,
you're probably going to get laid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good day. Fellas, here it is right here. Reel of the week. If you are on your way to a date or to meet a woman and you see a white rabbit run in front of you, strap up, player. It's about to be a great night.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, one time I had a black cat and a white rabbit. I had a black cat and a rabbit cross my path at the exact same time.
She was a psycho, huh?
Yeah, I knew exactly what it meant. I knew exactly what it meant.
You should have just turned around. Man.
Yeah, you just notice things. Like, I've even noticed like
a black cat and a freaking
rabbit.
Wow, that's wild.
Pretty much God telling you not to sleep with this person.
And you didn't do it?
Of course not.
Okay. Oh, man. Well, I had a great time with you, man. I definitely want to get you in here. I really want to see something. I'm going to start watching numbers now. I know I am. You know what I mean? Because I've already started watching numbers since I talked to you earlier on the phone. Yeah. You know what I mean? I went to the store with my girl real quick, and I was like, yeah, babe.
Your birthday is 131?
It's 313.
Or 313?
Yeah, 84.
So, March, I'll say it again, 313.
March 13th. Yeah.
All right, so you're born the 13th. So, your birth... So your birth...
I always do that. My girl always tells me to not do it. Because she's kind of like you are, honestly, when it comes to stuff like that, yeah. And I'm like, oh.
So you knows what it means?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she's always watching videos of people
talking.
That's
curse.
She's always like, don't do that here. What are you doing? Yeah. And she gets mad at the kids whenever they do it, because they learn it from YouTube or, people doing stuff. And I do it, so they do it.
Presidents do it. There's a reason for it. Then the other one's this. You see the 3 6s?
Oh, dang. Yeah.
6 6?
I thought it was BK.
No.
Oh, that's this. Oh, I don't know my gangs.
Yeah, there's a lot of
my gang culture.
A lot of things people don't notice.
Yeah, we the numbers gang now.
Well, hopefully you do some numbers with this video.
We're going to do some numbers, yeah. It's your boy DJ A in the building with Brandon Cominsky, Harp Landscaping. If you need something done, hit him up. All right, man, we out of here.